Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to do a retro review on the Apple iBook G3 Clamshell. In 1999, Apple had already introduced their Pro desktop, the Power Mac G3, consumer desktop, the iMac G3, and their Pro laptop, the PowerBook G3. There was just one more square to fill, the consumer laptop. Apple asked their customers what they wanted in a consumer product, and according to the keynote,
we went to our consumer and education customers and said, what do you want in a portable? What precisely is it that you want? And we listened very carefully. And when you added it all up, what they wanted was an iMac to go.
The major selling points of the iBook G3 were the Active Matrix 800x600 display, 300 MHz PowerPC G3 processor, USB, networking built-in, 6-hour battery life, wireless networking capabilities, a handle, a completely fanless design, and the inclusion of a CD-ROM drive, all for $1,599 at launch. Of course, it did come with some disadvantages. Mainly the lack of any easy upgradability other than RAM and airport card, no FireWire on the initial models, no microphone, and significantly no video output, so you couldn't use an external display at all. Let's talk about the design of this laptop. The iBook G3's design was similar in looks to a clamshell, giving it that nickname. However, as far as I know, Apple never officially called it that. The computer was originally available in Blueberry and Tangerine, although Graphite, Key Lime, and Indigo were introduced in its lifespan. The iBook G3 is also really big for a 12-inch laptop, with massive bezels being 2 inches thick on the sides at their thickest point. This is made up for somewhat by the handle, which makes it really easy to carry around. The handle feels sturdy, is spring-loaded, and has aged fairly well. Speaking of aging well, the rest of this laptop hasn't. Both the stem and the Apple and the Apple logo at the top are completely gone, and I might try to fix this with epoxy or something in a future video. The Apple logo under the display also has a few cracks around it, and the bottom is pretty beaten up. The original battery is leaking and no longer works, and the trackpad cover is peeling. Additionally, I had to replace the hard drive, DVD drive, and speaker to get the machine to work properly. The old speaker worked, but whenever there was the slightest bit of bass, it just turned into distorting buzzing, and half the time it didn't work at all. The I/O on this machine isn't great, even compared to later iBooks. On the left side, you only get an Ethernet port, a 56K dial-up modem port, a single USB 1.1 port, and a headphone jack. On the right side, you get a CD-ROM drive and a power in port. Speaking of power, the power supply on this machine is very interesting. It looks like a yo-yo, and the cord of the power supply wraps around the power supply like this. Unfortunately, the cord running from the power supply to the wall can't easily wrap around without falling out of place, so I can only assume that you're supposed to wrap the cord separately. I don't know. The first models of the iBook G3 came with 32 MB of soldered RAM, upgradable to 544 MB unofficially via the RAM slot, and a 3.2 GB hard drive. But my later model came with 64 MB of RAM and is thus expandable to 576 MB, and it originally came with a 6 GB hard drive, which I replaced with a 40 GB hard drive since the 6 GB one didn't work. Upgrading this machine is either very easy or very difficult depending on what upgrades you want to do. RAM and airport card replacements are super quick, but if you need to replace the hard drive, it's a 36-step process that requires removing the keyboard, palm rest, CD-ROM drive, screen, modem, and EMI shield, which I had to do on this laptop. Once that was done, I installed Jaguar while the laptop was partially disassembled because I really didn't want to go through that again if the new drive didn't work. But with that over, let's take a look at the machine in its current state. This laptop is currently running macOS 10.2 Jaguar, the second latest version supported. While these machines can run Panther or even Tiger with patches, I prefer to keep it on Jaguar because it's really fast, especially with the 576 MB of RAM. I might upgrade to Panther at some point, but for now I'm happy with it on Jaguar. I might also downgrade to its original OS of macOS 8.6, so if you're interested in that, leave that down in the comments. This machine can also run Classic inside of macOS 10, but for some reason refuses to boot natively into macOS 9 using the macOS 9 image that I have. It works on other computers, but on this one, trying to boot into macOS 9 results in a blinking floppy disk that requires typing in complicated open firmware commands to fix, but maybe I can get classic macOS running in a future live stream or video, so get subscribed so you don't miss that. Arguably the biggest new feature on these new machines was wireless networking. These laptops were the first computers ever to come with the standard we now call Wi-Fi, and Apple made the first commercially available Wi-Fi router known as the Airport Base Station. Installing Airport into the iBook G3 just involved taking off the keyboard and plugging the Airport card in. At launch, the Airport card cost $99 and the router cost $299. While this might seem expensive now, it was really cheap for a wireless system at the time. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If this was helpful or interesting, give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one. Follow me on my socials, linked down in the description, and until next time, I'll see you in the future.